Hello YouTubers, welcome back to GQ Auto Diagnostics and Repair, where my job was to save you money. Today we're gonna show you how to remove and replace the rotor, the brake pads on a 2012 Infiniti FX35. It's all-wheel drive, 6-cylinder, automatic. So let's get into the video. Alright, a couple things that you guys are gonna need. Number one, we're gonna loosen up this sliding bolt, sliding pin, whatever you want to call it. Those two from the caliper would attach the caliper to the caliper bracket, which the bracket attaches to the steering knuckle. Okay, so right there. So this is a 14mm, and this one right here, you have one here and one here on the bottom. Those are, I believe, 19mm. So let's get right to it. So you can put just what you have. I'm gonna use a wrench and I'm gonna tap it here. Nope, never mind, that was kind of loose. Okay. Okay. This one on the top usually have like a little grommet. You will see in a minute. So that goes on top on this vehicle application. That's it. The little okay. Now here we cannot remove it just yet. 3/4 of an inch. That's one. I put the other one here in the bottom. One. Now before I do the next one, I guess I didn't. A couple things here before we remove the caliper and the caliper bracket. What we're gonna do, we're gonna push that caliper piston back in. Okay, so a couple things you can do it two different ways. Some people like to remove the dust cover with the bleeding screw, and as they open it, and they can push that piston back in, so that way the fluid hit which is here on the caliper, it goes out, you turn it up, you close it, and you're done, right? However, if you're not very pay attention, you can introduce air to the system, and you will have a spongy pedal. That's number one. Okay, number two, you can grab this and put it like that if you can. Now you're gonna pull, you're gonna see the gap increase in there. Okay, I'm gonna pull it slowly. You can see the gap getting bigger right there. Hold on, I'm trying not to. You can see the caliper moving on. Go slow, don't go too fast. Okay? The reason I'm saying that is because if you go too fast and you have a very contaminated brake fluid, which that's another lesson in itself, okay, you can potentially create a problem on your ABS system. So be mindful of that. Now this comes off. Now this comes off. Now you're gonna put this right there. Okay. So you really don't want to do that. I've seen it happen. It's fixable, but sometimes it can create more work than what it needs to be if you're not paying attention. So just be mindful of that. These two bolts are the same length, so you don't have to worry about it. Now here you have your brake pads. Okay, let me bring this down here. Okay, this is the brake pads. Now make sure you pay attention to the position. If in case you have one of those wear indicators. Okay, the brake pad, the friction material from top and the bottom looks very even. Okay. So that means the calipers is sliding fine without any binding, so that's great. Now here we can see that the difference between the friction material. Okay, always is a good practice to remove and replace the hardware. Okay, always make sure here you don't have any buildup with like rust. If you do, make sure you remove it, because the rust is going to create that the brake pad binds and it doesn't move freely, and always having some drag on the rotor, so you don't want to do that. I'm going to prevent that. Other way, that drag is going to minimize the amount of life on your brake pads. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to put this one's here. Yeah, this one here. Sure this goes here, nice. And now we're ready to start. Okay, you can add a little bit of grease here if you wish, very tiny. Okay, don't put too much, otherwise you will, that grease, it will collect dust. Alright guys, for the rear brakes, the rotors that I'm using are Duralast. I'm not getting a sponsor by Duralast or AutoZone just to show you this. I'm just showing you what I'm using. Okay, and this is the rear brake pads that I'm using. So I hope this helped. Let's continue with the video. Right, so the caliper, the bracket there, remove. Now early I put a little bit WD-40 here, so what we're gonna do here, now here you can see a little bit of marks. I'm gonna use this tool to clean it up. Alright, here's a new rotor. The parking brake shoes, they look good. Okay, the brake pad friction material seems to be okay. Perfect. Alright, so that's how we replace this. Next, already put the caliper and the caliper bracket together here. I'm gonna slide it in. Ready? Okay. Okay. Snug this. And we're gonna torque it in a little bit. All right, they're snug. And this is how you replace the rear brake rotor, brake pads, infinity. If you stay here with me this far, I want to say thank you so much for sticking with me, watching the video. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll find value in the video. If you did, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and as usual, don't forget to torque the bracket, the caliper, and do your best. Forget the rest. God bless, and I will see you in the next video. Later.